What is up, full-time family? We're live. I know usually we do this in the evenings, but the Ultimate Fighter Season 27 finale just ended, and we gotta press mute. Live. I know usually we do this in the evenings, but the Ultimate Fighter. Alright, so yeah, the Ultimate Fighter Season 27 finale just ended, the post-fight press conference as well. We're gonna go for probably about an hour, man. I'm pretty tired, to be honest. Watched the fights and stuff. We reacted to all the fights. But there's a lot of news to cover, and then, of course, UFC 226 is tomorrow. But you might be asking what's on the screen right now, and I didn't want to start with that topic, but I just gotta let some people know, if you're new to the channel, who the fuck you're dealing with. It's motherfucking full-time, aka get rich or have fun trying, because we had a good day in the office with the fake money bankroll today. You know what I'm saying? That's a series you guys can check out. But no, we're actually going to start off talking about Israel Adesanya's fight. We will get back to this in a second, but as for right now, just, you can see the bets we would have placed, like if we lived in Las Vegas and that shit was legal. Right now we're just broke, so we're kind of pretending we're betting right now, but those are the bets we would have made if we could have, and we hit on every single bet. That's pretty solid. So we'll talk about that a little later on. But as far as this goes, that's not what's supposed to be up on the screen. We can look at Brad Tavares versus Israel Adesanya. Just to recap the fight, Israel Adesanya, a dominant performance. He's probably going to be ranked in the top 10 after this win over Brad Tavares. Dominated from start to finish. Man, I'm surprised Brad Tavares was able to withstand all of those shots, because Israel Adesanya was hitting him with a lot of stuff, big knees, just strikes from everywhere. So Brad Tavares, man, he came out. He fought against the young up-and-comer Israel Adesanya. A lot of people might have had questions before tonight, but I think he for sure answered a lot of questions tonight as far as Israel Adesanya is concerned. So that was dope, and he actually called out the winner of tomorrow's fight, either the eraser Paulo Costa or Uriah Hall. He said Uriah Hall's been clout chasing a little bit, so he really wants to beat Uriah Hall. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, man, congratulations to Israel Adesanya. But tonight was the Ultimate Fighter Season 27 finale, so of course I want to go over the winners of the show as well, just their fights. Brad Katona won the featherweights, and so he won the show. He is the Ultimate Fighter for the featherweights, but his natural division is actually 135 pounds. So he's a guy that he said, I feel good at featherweight, but at the same time, a lot of these guys in the UFC are really big. I feel like I'll really shine at bantamweight. So even though he won the show at 145 pounds, he's likely going to be in the UFC at bantamweight. I believe he's out of Team SBG. But yeah, man, he looked really good in his fight versus Jay Cuccinello, and he was the featherweight winner. But there was also a lightweight winner, and that ended up being Mike Trizano. Mike Trizano defeated Joe Giannetti via decision, and then he actually was called out after his fight by the Violent Bob Ross, who also won his fight earlier on the card, Luis Pena. So both of those guys coming off the show. Luis Pena didn't really get his opportunity because he was injured after his fight on the show. So he got an opportunity in the UFC, but not to win the show because of injury. So he feels like he could have won the show if not for that injury, and he wants to prove it against the winner of the lightweights, Mike Trizano. Mike Trizano's like, hey, I'll take anybody. He just wants to fight, hopefully, in Madison Square Garden because it's close to his home. He's from New Jersey. But, man, Mike Trizano, I believe he's training with Tiger Schulman. Really good camp down there in New Jersey. So I think he's definitely got a bright future. He remained undefeated, and he was crowned the lightweight Ultimate Fighter. So congratulations to him as well. There was a lot of other, we'll just go over the results real fast of the other fights. Alex Caceres was able to get a W. That could have been fight of the night. That was a really fun fight. Alex Caceres got a W over Martine Bravo. Roxanne Modafferi won her rematch with Barb Honchak, second round TKO. Alessio Di Chirico, a little bit of a robbery, maybe. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. It was a fun fight. I really felt like Julian Marquez was doing everything it took to win the fight, and even attacking off of his back, man. He was just doing everything. My immediate reaction, I had Julian Marquez winning the fight, but Alessio Di Chirico did have 4 takedowns in the fight, so maybe that's what the judges were kind of looking for in that fight. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? You never really know. But he did get his hand raised, but that was probably the most controversial decision of the night, in my opinion. But hey, he got the job done, and it worked for my prediction as well, even though I almost changed my mind. That was like a 50-50 for me. And Julian Marquez, kind of won the fight. So I'm still a fan. Looking forward to Julian Marquez's next fight. Super entertaining. That could have probably been fight of the night just on Julian Marquez's back. That was a super fun fight to watch. He's just a super fun character. You know what I'm saying? Dances coming out to the ring and called out Tyron Woodley in his last fight. Super fun fight here. He's a guy that really comes out and it seems like he's fighting for that fight of the night. So super fun fighter to watch. But he got the wrong end of the judges' scorecards tonight. We also had Montana De La Rosa defeating Rachel Ostovich. That was a fun fight. Montana De La Rosa won via submission in the third round. Yeah, the third round. That was a good fight, though. Montana De La Rosa, she's only like 23 years old, and I think she only lost twice in her career, and it was like to outside of the UFC to flyweight Mackenzie Dern and maybe Cynthia Calvillo, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, no, yeah, okay, she's 8-4 in her career. But either way, she's only 23, but young up and comer. But yeah, she had a solid performance tonight over Rachel Ostovich. With that being said, how many fights? I think there's only like 2 or 3 more fights to go over. We got the Violent Bob Ross win over Richie Smolin, first round submission after dropping him, though. He looked really good in that fight, and he called out the winner of the Ultimate Fighter. We had John Gunther, another guy off the show. He got a W. And then we had Bryce Mitchell, Thug Nasty. He got a W tonight over Tyler Diamond. Thug Nasty, man, he's a fun guy. Like, if you watch the actual show, I know a lot of people didn't, but if you watch the show, Bryce Mitchell, he seemed like a fun dude. But both of these guys were actually skilled coming off the show. 2 of the more skilled fighters on the show, Bryce Mitchell and Tyler Diamond. I actually gave the edge to Tyler Diamond, but the predictions weren't up whenever I did my predictions, so I didn't give my actual prediction. But whenever I actually was watching the fight, I looked into this fight, I actually was going with Tyler Diamond. So even though it wasn't on the predictions, that's when I'll say that I did what would have got wrong, but it wasn't up when I did my prediction, so safe. And then the first fight of the night, Steven Peterson versus Matt Bessette. Okay, there was another fight actually, but Steven Peterson was able to get the W. Was it a decision, if I'm not mistaken? Yeah, winner via decision over Matt Bessette. And then the first fight of the night, Gerald Meerschaert versus Oscar Pijota. So that was the Ultimate Fighter Season 27 recap. But the real fun card, the real reason we're here, is the UFC 226 preview. And that's what we're going to cover. We're just going to do the main card because, like I said, it's 2:30 in the morning. We got some news to cover, and we still got to do it all over again tomorrow, watch the fights, cover the fights, and we'll probably end up going live because there's so many crazy fights. So we'll see what happens. And then I really want to do another Google Hangout soon, but I think I'm going to wait until we get a second monitor. But either way, let's continue because I'm telling you, I'm kind of tired right now, but I'm expecting to get pretty fucking lit in here because not only am I going to go over my fake money results, which we won a lot, but also I'm going to be running that. I might have to do it sooner rather than later. No, I'm going to do it at the end. We're going to play that Daniel Cormier XXX Tentacion remix, and that shit's lit. So, but I'll play that at the end and before we get out of here. But like I said, a lot of stuff to cover. We'll look at the main card of UFC 226. We got Gokhan Saki versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. We got a kickboxer versus a more striking-oriented MMA fighter, probably a little more well-rounded, maybe Khalil Roundtree. But I think this is gonna, at a lower level, be kind of like Israel Adesanya versus Brad Tavares, a guy that's more of a striking-oriented MMA fighter like Brad Tavares. He's a well-rounded fighter, but he's more striking-oriented. He's not really known for taking guys down, submitting them. He's more known for, standing up and banging with guys. That's kind of like Khalil Roundtree Jr. He's not really known for his grappling. And now Israel Adesanya, he's more one-dimensional. Even though he has great takedown defense, his suit is his stand-up. That's why I said this is a little lower level. That's Gokhan Saki, coming over, kickboxing legend. I mean, I don't know about his history in kickboxing, but he's got a really history that really stands out. A lot of people talk about him, and they call him a kickboxing legend. So I'll take their word for it. I don't think these fans are, just coming over here and lying like, oh, this dude's a kickboxing legend, So he's more of a kickboxer, though, which means he probably, and his takedown defense isn't probably on the level of Israel Adesanya, but still, I see this fight likely remaining remaining standing, unless Khalil Roundtree Jr. is able to, control him in the clinch, maybe against the fence. But I think Gokhan Saki has been training a lot since his UFC debut, and I really think he's going to have a pretty wide striking advantage in this fight, which is where I think the fight's likely to take place, on the feet. So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to be going with Gokhan Saki in that fight. If I'll pull up my predictions right here. See that those are my predictions. You can see I got Anthony Pettis as well in the next fight against Michael Chiesa. This is going to be a close fight, and honestly, after Michael Chiesa missed weight, I'm kind of iffy, like, yeah, because for one, the fighter that misses weight a lot of the time wins the fight. Now that's changed as of late, but in the beginning of the year, they were on a streak, like 11-0, 11-0. It might have got up to 11-0, but a lot of fighters that missed weight won their fight. And now in this fight, that really takes place. It's not guaranteed to take place, but it really matters because Michael Chiesa is more of the grappling, grappler in this fight. That's really going to be his advantage. He's more of a grappler, submits guys, and so to have a weight advantage in a grappling situation is pretty useful. So even though I picked Michael Chiesa to win this fight, even though I picked Anthony Pettis to win this fight, after Chiesa missed weight, I probably wouldn't put any money on Pettis, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just going to stick with my prediction. Then, of course, we've got Paul Felder versus Mike Perry moving up to the pay-per-view. I think my boy Forward Thinking is in here. What's good, full-time fam? Would love a hangout full-time after the MMA live if you're up for it. Yeah, I probably won't be tonight, man. It's already 2:30 in the morning, but probably tomorrow before the fights. Or after the fights, depending on what happens. But yeah, man, I'm trying to kind of wrap this up tonight because it's already 2:30 in the morning here. I know it's probably not where you're at, but for sure we're gonna get that done soon. And also, soon I'm gonna be trying to get a second monitor. So I got a work shift last week. Hopefully that continues and I'll be able to get one. Or this fake money, man. Yo, we gotta flash it. We gotta flash it. Forward Thinking, because we might be in the building, dog. We're gonna be doing something soon. Check it out, bro. Just the full-time fake money bet. I've been doing like part 2 on Patreon, but check it out, man. Every single bet we placed tonight cashed out. Mearshart underdog, Peterson underdog. Little bit of a favorite here. Modafferi, underdog. Cesaris, little bit of a favorite. Adesanya, pretty much even. But, yo, we started off over here with $500 in the beginning, if you guys remember. Cashing out. I'm just saying, once we move the show to Vegas, bro, once we can afford, just to fucking once we somehow get off the ground running, we're going to be in the game, dog. We're going to be in the game. So, soon, and the live streams are going to clearly be coming sooner than that, but either way, I'm still pumped about the future. But this fight was moved to the main card, the pay-per-view, after, of course, Brian Ortega turned down the fight with Jeremy Stephens on short notice, which you can kind of understand. Max Holloway's injured. This is Brian Ortega's first title shot, but some people have been coming up and saying, yo, McGregor don't turn down fights. He takes the short notice fights. Habib don't turn down fights. He takes the short notice fights. Some people are saying, Ortega, that some people are kind of losing, I don't know if you would say the word respect, whatever, but they're losing something for T-City Brian Ortega for not taking this short notice fight. Just throwing some of those comparisons out there. Conor McGregor was going to be fighting a striker in Jose Aldo. Took the short notice fight versus Chad Mendes. Wrestler, so fuck it, risking it for the biscuit. If I lose this fight, I don't get to fight Aldo, not the champion. Conor McGregor went in there and did that. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But now we do have still a great fight, Mike Perry versus Paul Felder. This is a fight where I picked Mike Perry, and I wasn't very confident already in the pick, and now seeing them at the weigh-ins, Paul Felder's bigger than Mike Perry. Super confident. Ain't playing no games. Bro, I'll switch my pick. So I'm to the point to where I think in the fake money bankroll for these fights, I actually was going to put like a little bit of money on Mike Perry if I could. Like, you know what I'm saying? But not after yesterday. Not after today. Fuck no, dog. I got Paul Felder. As of right now, I got Paul Felder. he ain't having no shit right now. And I fuck with Mike Perry. That's my dog. But I just think Paul Felder's in a whole nother mindset. He's got a chip on his shoulder right now. Came in. I didn't expect him to be that much bigger than Mike Perry either. But it is what that's going to be a great fight either way. It's not going to be a title fight, but it is what it is. We'll move to the co-main event. Motherfucking sweetie swinging, biggity banging like I'm turning left, I'm bigger than busting a right. The fuck you talking about? Moment in silence for, I don't know, I just feel like we need a moment in silence for this fucking fight because it's so good. And it's tomorrow. You guys excited, dogs? I think my dogs are even excited for this fight. Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis. Yo, I need Francis Ngannou, first of all, to translate all that shit Israel Adesanya said in the octagon tonight. Motherfucker went on a tangent. Damn, they didn't. You know the UFC wasn't prepared for that. We don't know what he said. We don't know what he said. Let's speculate. What do y'all think Israel Adesanya was saying? What if he was just off the wall? Like, I don't know. That'd be crazy. But they did not have a translator on deck. I think it's safe to say there was no translators in that arena for that. But is what it is. Israel Adesanya got the job done in dominant fashion. Francis Ngannou is going to be taking on Derek Lewis in the co-main event of UFC 226. This was the fight a lot of people felt like could have been the main event of some other card. I mean, maybe not a pay-per-view just because it's not a championship fight, but a lot of people really wanted to see this fight, maybe even more than one, if not both of the championship fights tomorrow. This is going to be a great fight, man, a fun fight. Derek Lewis, fan favorite, funny guy. I mean, heavyweight. He comes back and fights. He might seem like he's down and out, and that's when he gets the late knockouts. Type of shit he does. Super fun fighter, underrated fighter, and he's going to be taking on maybe an overrated fighter, Francis Ngannou. But even if Francis is a tad bit overrated, he's still a fucking beast. It's not like he's overrated in the sense of he's trash, but it might just be to like, yeah, he's probably not like the Terminator, Predator, like we thought, or Bane, like you know, some people call him like the Bane and shit. He might not be Bane, but he's still a badass. You know, he's still a top 5 UFC heavyweight. I don't see him losing 5 fights in a row, 2 fights in a row. You know, he could very well win this fight. Just in even no matter how his last fight went, people feel like he got exposed against Stipe, but you got to be able to hold him against that fence and dodge that, get out of that first round before you can get Francis Ngannou out of there. He's going to be more efficient with his energy. I'm sure he's training his grappling. You know, what would that look like? Not training your grappling after that fight. You know, everywhere he went, they asked him about that. His coaches were asked about that. His coaches are, I'm sure, you know, he's going to be training it. Now, yeah, you're not going to learn it all overnight, but that's not like Derek Lewis is really coming in here to really try and take advantage of that. And a lot of heavyweights probably aren't. You know, of course, a lot of people in the past that Francis Ngannou fought before Stipe probably thought, man, if I can get this fight to the ground, that might be where my advantage is. But it's going to be harder than it sounds. He's a big, powerful dude. So, you know, just because he lost to the fucking heavyweight champion Stipe Miocic, which everybody's losing to, that's why he's the champion, because he's beating everybody, the top guys in the world. Just because you lost to the best guy in the world doesn't mean you're, you know, dog shit. So, Francis Ngannou, I'm pretty sure he's pretty big, not super big favorite, like maybe 2-3 to 1 or something, but just going to be a great fight, man. See, for me, this fight's a lot closer than the odds are. To me, this is not quite a toss-up. I'm definitely giving the edge to Francis Ngannou, but Derek Lewis, man, the later this fight goes, the better his chances get, and he is underrated. So this is a close fight. Anything can for sure happen. Heavyweight division, I can't fucking wait, man. This is going to be crazy, dog. And then, of course, I believe DC weighed in at fucking more than Stipe Miocic. Oh, we gotta play this song now. If y'all don't enjoy hip-hop or rap, y'all are probably gonna tune out right now. I don't give a fuck. I might get lit after this, and I need to get lit because I'm already kind of tired. We gotta go through this news. A lot of stuff been going on. And on top of that, Daniel Cormier weighed in more than Stipe Miocic, if I'm not mistaken. Chael Sonnen, I've seen a video he uploaded. I haven't got to watch it yet. It said Stipe weighed in at like 242. DC weighed in at like 246. What? DC's heavier. That's crazy. That's so fucking crazy because he already has the wrestling advantage. Now what DC was saying kind of makes sense a little bit. It's still not right in my opinion, but when DC said that Stipe Miocic can only win by knockout, it's a little. I understand why he believes that now. Like, if I'm coming in bigger, like he's not going to be holding me against the fence like Francis Ngannou. That's not happening at all. What the hell no. So he's going to have to stay, and DC's not going to stay at range and try and strike with him. He's going to, if you're not trying to push me against the octagon and control me, I'm doing it to you. So, bro, Daniel Cormier, I need to see these weigh-in results. We're going to look this shit up first before I get, but Chael Sonnen said the shit, so I hope he's right. Let's check this out. UFC 226 weigh-in results. Bro, 226 weigh-in results. Heavier than Steve? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. UFC 226 just got that much fucking better. What the fuck, dog? Oh, shit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Hey.
Nobody fucking with me, yeah. I'm about to go be Stipe, yeah. Moving up to heavyweight, yeah. And I am destined to be great, yeah. And if you didn't know, they call me DC. And there's no one that you know that can beat me. Yeah, if I John Jones, but was he clean? I don't think so. What's in that PP? Steroids, cocaine, probably weed. Testosterone, dick pills, and speed. And shrooms, and pills, and codeine. Goddamn, John turned into a dope fiend. And Stipe's about to turn into a folding chair. When I fold him up, I'ma take 2 belts and hold him up. On my champ shit, kinda knows what's up, little bitch.
Ooh. Let's fucking go. Are you telling me DC weighed more? Bro, that's crazy. I can't fucking wait for tomorrow, dog. Let's cover this news so we can go to sleep like it's motherfucking Christmas and wake up to our gifts. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Santa Claus is coming tomorrow. Can't wait. I'm not going to play this video, but it's just interesting because this is the eraser, Paulo Costa. And Israel Adesanya wants to fight the winner of this fight. Paulo Costa, the Greek or Brazilian god dude, fucking, he looks like he got the cheat codes to USADA, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't pop dirty, so he's just, natural. It's the Lord up above, you know what I'm saying? But he said Uriah Hall is mine this week, and he vows to erase him. Yo, check this out, though. Israel Adesanya said, I've been chewing on erasers my whole life. Get the fuck out of here. That was a good line. Chewing on erasers. Like, okay, yeah, we have been doing that for a while. I see what you did there. Yo, that was a good line. Then he already wants all the smoke with Uriah Hall. He said he's been chewing on erasers his whole life, so we already got a motherfucking fight on our hands with that. Whoever wins this fight, either way, likely fighting Adesanya. That's gonna be crazy fun. Fucking good time to be an MMA fan. Let's continue to the rest of the news, though. Injury forces Ilir Latifi out of, and I didn't sort this, so this topic might not be the most intriguing. There might be some better shit coming up. I didn't actually sort it. It's kind of late, but this is big. Injury does force Ilir Latifi out of his Glover Teixeira fight at UFC Hamburg. UFC Hamburg is taking hits like the Titanic. All right, anyways. But because if you recall them, they just lost a fighter in their main event. It was supposed to be UFC Hamburg's main event, Ozdemir versus Shogun. Ozdemir just got moved to UFC 227. Now you had Ilir Latifi versus Teixeira, and Latifi's out. So that's really unfortunate for UFC Hamburg for sure. We'll see what happens if Glover Teixeira gets an opponent. Keep you guys updated, of course. But as far as Max Holloway's injury is concerned, Dana White says that it's unclear and there's no way he fights anytime soon. That's even more fucked up when you consider, like that Brian Ortega kind of could have saved the card. And it is what it is, man. Making the best decision for his family. Can't count him out for that, even though some people are saying they lost respect or whatever. But hey, man, I mean, if I was Brian Ortega, or maybe if you were, and this, was an opportunity to feed your family for the next 2 years instead of just making the fans happy and possibly losing everything you worked this hard for, you know what I'm saying? I kind of understand where he's coming from. It's not a guy, he's never had this opportunity before, you know. That's the difference with Frankie Edgar. When Frankie Edgar took the short notice fight, you know, he had fought for the title in the past. But some people are bringing up, well, Khabib fought anybody on short notice. He was about to fight Holloway, then he was about to fight, then he did fight Iaquinta. So with that being said, and Conor McGregor, you know, we already talked about that a little bit earlier, so it is what it is. But whenever you hear that Max Holloway's not going to be fighting anytime soon, it's like, well, Brian Ortega might be fighting in an interim title fight next anyway. I don't think the UFC is going to strip Holloway for this, you know. Maybe if he got injured out of his next fight for sure, but an interim title fight might be next. And if that's the case, it might be Ortega versus Stevens. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, but Dana White saying Max Holloway isn't going to be back anytime soon. He says, it's a weird situation. I was talking to Jeff Nowitzki in the back, and there's a couple of different, some people might think it's concussion related, and some people might think it's weight cut related. So they haven't really got down to the bottom of what it is, but according to him, he feels fine, but obviously he's not fine. So we're going to continue to try to figure out what's wrong with Max Holloway. In the meantime, there's no way that this guy is going to fight anytime soon. He says we're running him through every test there is. He needs to go to the Mayo Clinic or one of these types of places and do full. Yes, we will take care of Max Holloway, and he'll go through every type of testing there is until we can figure out what's wrong with him. And he said, literally, Jeremy Stevens will not stop blowing up my phone. He wants this fight so bad. He said he'll take it on short notice. He's cutting weight already with hopes that Ortega will accept the fight. Ortega has turned the fight down, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. So yeah. And then he says, when he's talking about Max Holloway again, he says it's impossible, and I believe he's talking about him returning sometime soon. It's impossible to ensure what happened to Max Holloway doesn't happen. Listen, you're dealing with human beings. People get sick. Things happen. It's unfortunate, but it happens. There's nothing we can do about it. We've done everything you could possibly try to do to make these guys healthier, to give them a safer place to train, eat the right foods. We have a restaurant at the PI where they can eat for free, and we've done everything we can possibly do to try and limit this. So, scary situation with Max Holloway, might not be fighting anytime soon. And in the meantime, might see an interim title fight, depending on how long this is going to be, depending on how these tests come back. We'll see what happens. But another cancellation coming out of UFC 227, though, is Derek Brunson. He's out of his fight with Shoeface Antonio Carlos Jr. That was a fight I was looking forward to, and one of the better fights on the card. It's still going to be a fun card. Not Max Holloway, TJ Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt, the rematch. Demetrius Johnson versus Henry Cejudo 2. Got some fun fights on the card, but this is one of the ones I was looking forward to. Maybe it'll be rescheduled. Maybe Shoeface gets a new opponent. We'll see what happens, but Derek Brunson is out at UFC 227. This is Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou involved in a pre-fight scuffle ahead of UFC 226. Honestly, I haven't even got to watch this myself yet.
Official leg 253 for the Predator.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit, son!
Now let's take a closer look at the
Oh
two men
shit!
involved in the main.
Yo, fucking Derek, boosh! Damn, I didn't think that was about to happen because Dana White, you know, already let him back close. I thought he's like, no, I'm good. I ain't gonna touch him. Like, and so I thought he wasn't gonna do that. And I was like, oh, that ain't no damn scuffle. But damn, son, oh shit! Oh, I can't fucking wait till tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue. Holloway to undergo a battery test. Experts don't know what's wrong with him. I believe this might be similar to what we just heard from Dana White. Yeah, this is pretty much the same thing, just on a different website. So we'll move past that. Oh, check this shit out, man. What do we got going on here? Max Holloway responding to McGregor. Check how friendly these dudes are being, bro. Check this out. And this is only interesting because the last time, to my knowledge, that these guys spoke was whenever Conor McGregor posted that picture of him like stiff arming Max Holloway, and it was like it was father against son in there that night. You know, like shout out to my young Usyk. Like he's did great things since then. Like I'm proud. Like pretty much, I don't want to say sonning Max Holloway, but he was pretty much sonning Max Holloway. Like, yeah, but I still beat you. And then Max Holloway came back with some like champions fight. That's like the 2015 champ. I don't know what he's talking about. But now that Max Holloway's going through this little injury deal right here, man, this is weird. Because first, Conor McGregor, I asked the question, is he clout chasing? Because he's just being kind of friendly, it seems like, to Max Holloway. Maybe he's just generally concerned for his health. But, Conor McGregor's a guy that also, whenever things happen, like if Nate Diaz probably got in like a scuffle to where he couldn't fight, he might say something. Or if Habib did, maybe not Nate Diaz at this point, but Habib or something, you know what I'm saying? But either way, Max Holloway, and some people have said this as well, like Conor McGregor, tries to keep the attention on him. Like, and that's what something my brother was saying earlier. That's one of the things I was thinking of, but he's a casual fan. But this is what Conor McGregor had to say. Now, what really tripped me out was Max Holloway's response. Conor McGregor said, "My thoughts and respect are with the 145-pound world champion blessed Max Holloway." And why at kind of first I was like, okay, that's, a big step for Conor McGregor. Because he called Max Holloway the 145-pound world champion. Like, he's letting go of that champ shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people would be like, you ain't the champ, dog. You're the stripped. What are you talking about? You're not even the champ anymore. So, but in Conor's defense, he was the first to do it in the UFC, so he'll kind of always be the champ. But for him to come out and call, Max Holloway the champion, I thought that was a big step. But now here comes Max Holloway, just nice as can be, bro, and I ain't even mad at him. Maybe he could even be off the medication. You know how you be feeling like you're off a cloud or something. You know what I'm saying? He might be off the medication. But either way, or just the classy response. But he says, "Thank you, champ. One of the best minds in the game said we win or we learn. This is learning for me. Hope to see you back, brother." Is he talking about me? That's something I've been saying for a while. No, I think he's talking about John Kavanaugh. But we both said that shit, so we still, great minds think alike. But either way, hey, Max Holloway, big respect to Conor McGregor, the champ. You know what I'm saying? So, fucking hell yeah, brother. You know what I'm saying? These dudes clearly peers, respect each other, and that's dope. They could potentially fight again in the future. That would be a crazy fight. Last person to ever beat Max Holloway was Conor McGregor like 12 fights ago before he became the champion when he was just a youngin' in the sport. So this was just kind of cool. It's dope. They're not spreading negative energy, especially at a time like this. You wouldn't kind of expect that because Max Holloway, what's going on with him does seem kind of serious and honestly a little scary. I haven't seen this in, I can't remember if I've ever saw this, like champion. Well, maybe sometimes someone having a bad weight cut, but they did say that this wasn't weight cut related, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, Max Holloway slurring his words and stuff like that, it definitely seems like it could be a big issue. Hopefully it's not, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, hope Max Holloway has a speedy recovery and everything like that. But this could be a future fight between Max Holloway and Conor McGregor, and Max Holloway's also talked about moving up in weight in the past. He was about to fight Habib, you know what I'm saying? He would have beat Habib. The fight might have been happening, but either way, man, respect shown on both parts, and almost uncharacteristically, just because the last time, to my knowledge, you know what I'm saying, they were kind of butting just a little bit, but hey, it is what it is. We'll continue, move on. Max Holloway released a statement since the injury. It is what it is. Respect to Ortega and his team. Thank you, Dana White and the UFC staff, for making my health a priority. Also, thank you to Jeremy Stevens and Frankie Edgar for being about that champ life and stepping up. I see you. To all the fans, I know this roller coaster can be frustrating because my team is also on it with you. All I can say is I'm truly sorry, and I hope you guys stay buckled up or stay buckled in because it is far from being over. Don't let the bad surprises distract you from the good surprises in this great sport. The best is still blessed. Hashtag bless yourself. And, yo, Max Holloway, This motherfucker's on some enlightened shit right about now. Y'all remember he got shouted out by Drake? And I was going to make this joke a few days ago, but I forgot, so I felt like it was too late. But Drake is out here. His music is like a curse, or is it a blessing? I don't know. Either way. But he just like said some crazy shit, and it had nothing to do with XXXTentacion, but SMS Triple X, blah blah blah. And then, unfortunate what happened, but it was just kind of weird that he said that. And then he mentioned Max Holloway. Now motherfucking Max Holloway is injured and stuff. Man, I hope Drake don't ever say no damn full-time MMA. That would suck. Like, I'm about to switch to full-time MMA. I'm about to train. I'd be out of here next week. No, I'm just saying. But Max Holloway though, even respecting though in that last tweet though, John Kavanaugh, like, great mind. So he's not even just respecting Conor McGregor, but hey man, your coach is one of the greatest minds in the game as well. So and then also shouting out Jeremy Stevens here, which is dope. Like, hey man, I saw y'all about that champ life. It is what it is. Brian Ortega, I'm not gonna go there. I was gonna say, I wonder if that's kind of subliminal, but nah, we ain't gonna be negative or about the post. But still, people have pointed out the fact that this fight could have been on. And Frankie Edgar did want to take the fight, but he wasn't cleared. But he's another guy that wanted to. So, it is what it is. Of course, we'll see what happens whenever Max Holloway gets back, and if anything happened to where like he was injured in his next fight, unfortunately he would probably have to be stripped, right? Because he was out of UFC 222. These are all different things, which is what fucking sucks. Ankle injury, and 223 is kind of lumped into this, even though he took that fight on short notice. He wasn't even supposed to fight at UFC 223, but when Tony Ferguson got injured, that's when he was like, hey, okay, I'll step up and fight for a second belt. Let's do it. But then the commission pulled him from cutting weight, and they stopped him from cutting weight, so he wasn't able to fight. And then now we have this issue, which is, so it seems like it's 3 incidents in a row. Max Holloway was out of the fight, even though that second one there's kind of an asterisk by it. But a fourth, you might have to get healthy and then come back when you're healthy, kind of like Dominic Cruz. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens. But yeah, Robert Whittaker, Kelvin Gastelum. I don't know if some of you guys missed this. You might have. Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum is going to coach the Ultimate Fighter and then fight for the middleweight title, 185 pounds. Weidman looks like he got skipped over. I'm sure we'll hear more about why. Maybe he's still injured. But coaching the Ultimate Fighter might have gave him time to heal up from that injury setback he had. But with that being said, it looks like Kelvin Gastelum got the nod. He did enough since losing to Weidman with those 2 big wins over Bisping and Jacare to get the title shot now. And I got to admit, man, this is, I don't want to say a better fight, but it kind of is, right? I'm kind of more not even excited, because I would have loved to see Whittaker versus Weidman. It's got a ring to it. Whittaker versus Weidman, right? I would have loved to see that fight, Madison Square Garden. That would have been huge. It would have been a huge opportunity for Robert Whittaker, and Chris Weidman to get his belt back. But as a fan of both fighters, I kind of felt like Chris Weidman had kind of, I don't want to say the advantage because what Robert Whittaker's been able to do, but I kind of felt like he did have more of a case for the title shot. I kind of thought he would get the nod with all of that being said. But it looks like it's going to be with Kelvin Gastelum, and I'm not mad at this fight either. And I kind of like. I'll say this. This is what the words I'm looking for. I like this style matchup better. This has the potential to be a more fan-friendly fight. Now, versus Chris Weidman, that's going to be a chess match. You're going to have to be on your P's and Q's, try to avoid the takedown, which means you can't be as aggressive as you might want to be. But now, Whittaker versus Gastelum is going to kind of be like a wrestling and a boxer. More of a boxer. That's what he's more known for now. Is Kelvin Gastelum is his boxing, but he's also got very strong wrestling, which you can't count out. Now against Chris Weidman, his wrestling wasn't able to show because he was a lot bigger, and not a lot bigger because they were fighting at middleweight, but at the same time he's the more natural middleweight, so he was bigger, and that definitely did help him in that fight. And if you watched the weigh-ins, or if you've seen them staring off, Weidman and Gastelum, he did look a lot bigger. But with that being said, this fight is going to be like Robert Whittaker's kickboxing, but he's also got great defensive wrestling and wrestling himself. So this is going to be 2 fucking badass fighters and probably a better stylistic matchup as far as like two stand-up fighters, but at the same time, this fight can go anywhere. Weidman's a great fighter, and he's always a threat, but you know his game plan is more of trying to win the fight with his wrestling. Now, he can finish you down there as well, but you know, you're not as excited to watch it either, even though he's a high-caliber fighter and probably deserves that opportunity sometime soon. But hey, man, it was a toss-up as of right now, and it looks like Kelvin Gastelum got the nod. But first, they're going to coach the Ultimate Fighter Season 28, which is going to have the heavyweights and the female flyweights. So that's going to be fun. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, man. I watched like the first half of this season, and then I got too busy, and I never got caught up, and now we just watched the finale, so I don't know if I will. But either way, I'll be watching the fight at the end, that's for sure. I think we got one more thing to cover before I check the chat, and then we'll get out of here. Stipe Miocic's salary. I heard that he was 100% happy with his pay, but why, damn, he sure should be $750K. That's some big money. I'm kind of surprised. I don't know why, and maybe just I kind of thought, no, yeah. I mean, I was thinking like the bigger stars, or at least the champions, kind of were like at least getting $1 million. You know, Demetrius Johnson's down there kind of trying to get $1 million. I don't think that's happening. If Stipe ain't getting $1 million, DC's only getting $500K. I don't think Demetrius is gonna get $1 million if that's what he's asking for, because the UFC seems like they pay what you weigh. And unfortunately for Demetrius, I think he weighs like, he might be, you know, Stipe might be two of Demetrius's. You know, like, what is Demetrius, 125 pounds? Yeah, 250? That's about right. So, I mean, you know, so that I'm kind of surprised, because that's a lot of money when you look at how much more he's making than Daniel Cormier. But in the grand scheme of things, like compared to other professional sports, even Conor McGregor, we'll just leave it at Conor McGregor. I don't like going the other professional sports route, because those are a lot bigger, you know what I'm saying? And even though the UFC is making a lot of money, they just spent a lot of money, so they're still kind of, you know, they can't really just, so it's different. But either way, I felt like, and maybe it's just because I heard Demetrius Johnson was asking for, I felt like, especially with this being a champion versus champion super fight, Stipe Miocic might have hit $1 million. But at the same time, now the more that I think about it, no, this is about right, because Alistair Overeem, I remember that's when this really came up, I believe, whenever Stipe beat Alistair Overeem, and Alistair Overeem like made more than him in that fight, so he felt disrespected. But now he's feeling respected, and this is part of it. He's getting $750,000, and he's happy with it. And I'm sure he's also getting pay-per-view points. That's probably where the millions come in that you think of. Like, what? He's only getting $750K? This is a great card. He's the headliner. But I'm sure he's also going to get those pay-per-view points, which is that's where you get pushed over $1 million. It's not your show-up pay. So that's where, you know, the disconnect was coming. But either way, man, this is going to be a good fight, and Stipe Miocic is happy with this pay, $750K, DC, man. And honestly, if you're looking at resumes, you might think DC has the better resume, but, you know, the UFC, it looks like, really pays what you weigh, because Alistair Overeem, a lot of the heavyweights, the veteran heavyweights, the heavyweights that are former champions, that are decorated, they get paid a lot more money than a lot of the other fighters, and it's because they're heavyweights, you know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, man, I think that's the last topic. Let's see what we got. Let's check out the chat before we get out of here, though. So thanks to everybody for coming through. See what the full-time family's talking about before we get out of here till tomorrow. Let's see. We got Tasman Trady in the building. Yo, sup from New Zealand. What is up, brother? Ivan Hernandez, what's up, full-time family? Hashtag WarDC. Bob Cratchit in the building. Who's the guy talking? What happened to full-time? I don't know where he went, bro. Kyle Stevens said, people of the internet bet Miocic and Costa in a parlay. Easy money. Yeah, you probably got a point there, but I don't know about easy money, especially with DC weighing more than Stipe now, bro. Like, you guys remember, well, some of you guys might, not everybody, clearly they weren't there, but in this picture, DC kind of looks bigger than Stipe, and someone's like photoshopped. Like, this, you know, this looks like he's zoomed in more. But he actually weighed in more than Stipe. Don't let anything we talked about on the show distract you from the fact that Daniel Cormier weighed in more than Stipe Miocic today. You look like Ice Cube supporting the beard and looking all clean cut. Hey, I appreciate it. I really need to get a haircut, brother, but I appreciate it. DC was fat and out of shape, says Kyle Stevens. I compared him with his Mir fight. He was 235 pounds. Interesting comparison. Okay, I see what you're saying. I see you. Michael James London, only Uberim can Overeem people. Johnny Cash says, is this, what's his name? I wonder if this is Super Cash. That'd be hilarious. It might be. Oh, I wonder if this is Super Cash. I would almost pay to do an interview with you if that's you, bro. Not even an interview, just like a conversation. That would be so fucking fun, bro. Forward thinking in the building. Honestly, I can see DC gassing a little. His pressuring style is very exhausting. We saw it versus Jones 1 and versus Gustafsson, where he tired both times. Yeah, and he's probably been eating a lot more, but and like he said, someone said he looked out of shape more than when he came in on his Frank Mir fight. He was weighing about 235 pounds, and for him to have been fighting at 205 not too long ago and to be this big, that's probably not all muscle, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely hear what you guys are saying, but I'm still kind of shocked that he weighed more. But yeah, maybe it's just because he can't. Someone said he's coming in fatter. Johnny Cash at DC's coming in fatter. So yeah, I hear you for sure. But at the same time, that was kind of shocking. Caleb Dowling says, I want Derek, DC, Pettis, and Perry to win, but I'm picking their opponents. I hear, yeah. There's a lot, man. A lot of toss-ups almost. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. Let's do that before we get out of here. Show you guys the motherfucking potential. You guys, if you can bet where you live, you need to be fucking with your boy, and this is why. Because you see how much fucking money we just won tonight on fake money bankroll. But if you were real money bankroll, we started off with $500, dog. And now, after tonight, we're probably over 6,000 because they ain't even bet on the main card yet. Maybe 5,000 just to be, generous. That's like 10 times your money. And then after tonight, dog, I'm talking underdog. Motherfucking almost an underdog right here. I missed the Pena bet, but that one I wasn't super confident in. That's why I didn't bet any money on Schmolin. He was an underdog, but I didn't put any money on him because I was like, yeah, I don't think he's really. It's close, But I wasn't confident in that pick. But yeah, man, fuck with your boy is all I'm saying. Make sure you guys check out these fake money bankroll series because we're about to get rich or have fun trying when we go busto. We'll see what happens. But these are the best we got for tomorrow, even though if I wanted to go through all the fucking effort of going, redoing this episode, we already did this week's episode, so I would have to redo this whole week's episode, change everything, just to change one bet, which I'm not going to do. But if I was in Las Vegas and I hadn't placed my bet yet, I definitely would not be betting on Mike Perry, as you see here. That would not be happening. After I saw those weigh-ins, I fuck with Mike Perry. That's my dog. I know what he did to the last lightweight he fought. But I don't think that's what's going to be happening in this fight, brother. I would not be placing this bet right here. I would definitely be betting on Saki. Even Pettis after Chiesa missed weight. I probably wouldn't place that bet. But you see how not confident I am in all of these fights? That's how good these fights are because I don't know what's going to happen. I probably would bet on Melinder, though. I don't know how much of a favorite he is, but I'm pretty confident there. Yeah, so, man, great day of fights. Great night of fights tonight. It's going to be fucking fun. But look at that, though. That fucking buddy, though. I'm just saying, fuck with your boy. And then, of course, these are my predictions for the main card of UFC 226. So, yeah, with that being said, thank y'all for coming through. Someone said you are legit one of the best predictors on the internet. No joke. Yeah, I know. I pretty much, that's what I do. Someone could be out there getting rich off of me because I can't because I don't fucking live in Vegas because I'm just fucking custodian. But I mean, some of you guys see the potential, but it is what it is. One of these days, we might get a sponsor. But in the meantime, we're going to be betting the old fake money rue. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. I appreciate you noticing and putting some respect on my predictions, man. But it is what it is. One of these days, maybe we'll be able to cash in off our great MMA research and predictions. So yeah, thanks to everybody who came through to the stream tonight. See you guys tomorrow covering the fights. I'm probably not going to do a fight companion, to be honest, just because I'm going to wait until I get that second screen. That's just going to make it so much easier. Honestly, I can do so much more, and it's only going to be like $40 whenever I can afford to get that thing. So I'm going to get it sooner rather than later. I just have to fucking have the extra $40 and then go find it like on Craigslist or some shit. I'm gonna do that shit soon. But as of right now, and also yeah, so that's one of the reasons. But it's still a toss up. I mean, the last one was cool, but it wasn't. Yeah, maybe something in the future. I mean, it's a lot of stuff we still got to figure out for the live fight companion. And honestly, I mean, it would take away from some of the stuff we already do. But with that being said, we'll. This is a work in progress. Thanks everybody for coming through again. See y'all tomorrow. Back at it, motherfucking on the grind. And yeah, and I've got other fucking work. So let the full time family know what you guys think in the comments. We out.